Listen to me. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Keep them heads out and keep them punches up. I want to go clean fight, touch gloves, come out boxing on the bell. Let's go.
Scheduled for 8 then, and a test for Martin Bakole, that is for sure. Because Kevin Johnson can make you look bad. The point I was going to make as we were just sort of breaking off there is that Johnson was fighting in Germany 8 days ago. It went the distance, of course, like it really did. But this fight he took on very short notice because the original Spanish opponent had to withdraw. So he'd already gone back home. Wow. Now he's had to fly back out again. It's not like he's stayed over in Europe. So you wonder at 40 years old if the jet lag is going to catch up with him somewhere down the road. And if it does, maybe Bakole can catch him. Johnson, of course, has been there, seen it and done it. He's the man in the blue trunks. And, I don't think Martin Bakole will hold too many terrors for him, but of course, he's very watchful.
Well, you've seen him come out and demand the centre of the ring straight away. Bakole has opted to go on the front foot, try and put Johnson under some pressure pretty quickly. Probably knows that he's been flying around all over the world and he might not be in the best condition physically.
Well, that jet lag does take a bit of getting over, even if you just fly into the East Coast. I hear he's based out of Asbury Park these days, which is Springsteen country. I always thought he was a Georgia guy, but he's obviously moved, he's obviously flown north. Maybe he's a Springsteen fan, who knows? But either way, even though it's just...
Who's not a Springsteen fan?
Well, that's a very good question. That's a very fair question. Nice jab there from Bakole. But that amount of transatlantic travel over a very short space of time is gonna affect anybody, and certainly when you're an elite athlete, potentially that could be a big issue for Johnson. He doesn't look to be showing an awful lot of ambition at the moment, but he's doing a very nice job of covering up, messing, sending out a few jabs here and there just to keep Bakole honest, and Bakole's looking to try and chop him down here with limited success. Nice little left hook popped in there. Yeah,
looking to get that right hand over the top. Bakole seems to have found a little gap there around the side of Johnson's head. Seems to be dipping at the waist and managing to find that little gap, although we know that he knows how to survive better than most. And every now and then he just unleashes with the odd combination and can look surprisingly dangerous. Right now he doesn't look very dangerous,
not at all.
We've seen him spring into action before, Nick.
Kevin Johnson, I think, is one of those guys who say if he finds a weakness, if he sees it's there, he'll jump on that.
He sure will. Again, just that experience that he has.
I'm sure I've read at least one story on Kevin Johnson, one interview where he just said, I'm done with boxing, I'm finished. But for the heavyweights, there's such big paydays there all the time.
All the time,
and he is such a workhorse, such a gatekeeper, such a good pro. But it must be tough to sort of just say, no, I don't need that money.
Yeah, it must, especially in that weight class.
So he's rolling away from those
he normally
right hands, isn't he, Johnson? He sees them coming and
he's making Bakole miss, that's for sure.
Can't be hitting around the back of the head like that.
Stop offering him the back of the head. Stop giving the buck. Stop turning into the punch.
No, it's not entirely his fault.
It's certainly not. Ron Kearney there, the referee laying down the law, but I would have said Kevin Johnson's entitled to do exactly what he wants defensively.
I think so. Stop giving him the back of the head. He should be punching the back of the head, should he?
Well, that's a strange one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Johnson didn't show us a lot offensively in that first round. Not exactly surprised. He looks like he's a bit jet lagged to me.
He does. He looks very tired.
He's not sharp at all.
No, he really isn't. Managed to flick out a couple of jabs, but that was about it. But again, not to be too critical towards Bakole, but he didn't exactly find many gaps, Nick, did he?
No.
And he didn't in particular throw any real heavy shots, or he didn't try and set up any big shots either. He was pretty deliberate and he was pretty straight to the point. He came out, claimed the centre of the ring, backed Johnson up and literally picked away.
But if you're Martin Bakole and you look at a guy's record, and fighters do this, we know that as we get ready for round 2 of 8, your opponent has gone the distance with Vitaly Klitschko in his prime, gone the distance with Tyson Fury, gone the distance with Derek Chisora, Kubrat Pulev, Andy Ruiz, for goodness sake, Filip Hrgovic.
Unbelievable.
So he's got to be thinking, Bakole, well, these guys are elite world level and I'm not, and they couldn't stop him.
Exactly.
He knows he's got to be patient. Only 2 have stopped him. Anthony Joshua, of course, back in 2015, and almost got him out inside a round there. He was saved by the bell, but it was just a stay of execution. And last year in Germany, Peter Milas, of whom I know very little, I have to be honest, but he obviously caught Kevin on a very bad night for Kevin. And Bakole is just picking him off still here, without showing any great menace himself of loading up. I mean, these
very much petty pat shots,
I was
aren't
going
they?
to say, Kevin Johnson will eat this all night.
Yeah, he sure will. And he won't take them all. He will look to come back with something eventually.
Bakole is still finding the back of the head rather too much. A very capable right hook, Bakole. It's quite a weapon. What he's now finding is Johnson is starting to come to him a little bit, which might make things interesting, because he was backing up in that first round, Johnson, and has obviously decided, well, let's see what happens if I start pushing this guy back a little bit.
Try and get on the front foot.
Came over to the UK back in 2016, Martin Bakole, when his brother Ilunga Makabu was boxing Tony Bellew in Liverpool for the World Cruiserweight Championship, and liked it so much decided to stay, although goodness knows how he ended up in a tiny little town north of the border in Scotland, Airdrie. There's not too many fighters up there. Certainly not too many heavyweights. He'll stand out in a crowd in Airdrie, will Martin Bakole. Johnson looks like he's exhausted himself here with that little flurry earlier, and has decided just to back up a little bit again.
Yeah, have a little rest on the ropes.
Bakole can
Looks like he has something in his ear, Nick.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's stem blood flow. I mean, I don't know, really.
An ear plug in there.
Yeah.
That'll get a bit of a ringing in the ear if he comes on.
And might get punched out as well. That's a good body shot from Bakole. Picked that well. For a nice shot left hook to the head and quickly switched the same shot to the body. Quite effective.
Well, but it is just target practice here for Bakole.
Very much is,
Johnson isn't offering very much at all, and 40 is not ancient for a heavyweight, but it's getting up there, and he is looking, like I say, with all that jet lag as well. You just wonder how sharp Kevin Johnson is tonight. Started off with a little flurry and decided, I don't need to be wasting my energy doing this.
Yeah.
Where's my stool?
Pointless expedition.
Yeah. Another Bakole.
Body shots, okay?
That's Billy Nelson going to work with him. Legendary Scottish trainer. Did most of his great work with Ricky Burns. They had 10 world title fights in a row together. That was some partnership.
You see what I'm talking about? He just want to come back and counter you. You don't allow him to. Your feet will get in and out, make him miss. He's getting tired now. So when you get tired, drop them down there, bring a hand down, then go back up. Okay? But when you throw the body shots, get them back.
Well, there's Johnson doing what he does best, tying up. I'm slightly surprised that he's actually allowed himself to take as many shots as he has through 2 rounds, Johnson, because he's usually very good at slipping and blocking and avoiding.
It's normally his waist movement and his upper body movement from his waist is normally really quite effective, and he does always manage to seem to just get out the way of the heavy ones. But maybe he's felt Martin Bakole's power and just felt that there's maybe no real reason to get out the way and waste that kind of energy. Martin Bakole's jab's been very effective and sharp. It's coming from a very orthodox upright position. Textbook style boxing for Martin Bakole.
Recovered well from that last round stoppage against Michael Hunter, which is a year ago, and I think a lot of people, including perhaps Billy Nelson, if he's completely honest, maybe underestimated Hunter.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that there was a 40-pound weight advantage for Martin Bakole.
It was massive. It really was.
But Hunter is such a good pro.
He's a very, very good fighter.
And
he's very good.
Yeah, he eventually caught up with Bakole, who injured his shoulder in the 8th round, looked like he wanted to pack it in, and Billy Nelson wouldn't let him, and then he got stopped in the 10th and last round. And off the back of that, they go to Poland to take on Mariusz Wach.
Yeah.
Now that's a gamble.
Yeah.
And he stopped him.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was a superb result.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Not much sign of any stoppages coming here. Oh, a little flash there
well,
from
that's what
Johnson.
we spoke about earlier,
Yeah.
didn't we, Nick? Every now and then he springs to life, doesn't he?
Yes.
He almost lulls you into a false sense of security, and then when you start to become a little bit complacent and you think you're just picking apart an old guy, he comes back with something.
Yes, if you switch off. I must admit, I wouldn't want to go back and watch his fight with Vitaly Klitschko. One of the judges gave him one of the rounds. It was, it was a dominant performance, but that was a typical Vitaly Klitschko night, and I'm taking nothing away from Kevin Johnson. You go the distance in a world title fight with Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah, you've done well.
You know, that's something to be proud of, but Vitaly, as we all know, is if you left him alone, he tended to leave you alone.
Yeah,
and
of course,
Kevin didn't bother him a bit.
No, he just jab your head off for a whole night. Yeah. It's not the way it would work.
Yeah, Kevin didn't throw too many fireworks at Vitaly. Not throwing too many fireworks here at Martin Bakole either. And Bakole is just having his way with him here. Rather easy to hit him. There's not a lot of head movement. We talked about that upper body movement that Johnson has utilised to have this career that he's had.
Yeah.
Well, we're not seeing a lot of it here. It's really sluggish.
Yeah, he's doing very, very little. Taking little popping shots, irritating shots from Bakole. Bakole is still not loaded up yet. They've all been arm punches up to now.
But he's just moving at a different speed.
Yeah, he sure is, yeah. You can see massive difference in fitness. And
Johnson, there goes. That was a bit of afters there.
as if he hadn't hit him enough in the 3-minute spell.
He was starting to look a little bit sorry for himself in the last 20 seconds of that round.
Yeah, it really was. I'm just wondering now if Billy Nelson will maybe let Bakole off the leash, or if Bakole will decide to really up the ante now, because that was it was a very one-sided round.
It really was, and there's so little coming back from Johnson. As you say, there is that risk every so often.
Yeah, but even that looks like it's diminishing quite quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Turn the clock back a decade and a half.
10 seconds.
Kevin Johnson in his mid-20s. Dave Allen talking about heavyweights. Very engaging character. Not in action tonight, but always seems to attract a camera, doesn't he?
Yeah, always.
I saw him losing to David Price and then saying, I'm going to pack it in, and then, oh, guess what? He came back as well. Anyway, Martin Bakole in the green and gold, going into the 4th round here against Kevin Johnson, a man who 15 years ago was beating the likes of Bruce Seldon and Devin Vargas to earn his shot at Vitaly Klitschko. It's nearly 7 years ago since he was outpointed by Tyson Fury, a very young Tyson Fury in those days. But he's always been that high-level gatekeeper, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, you've got a prospect, you throw Kevin Johnson in there to see what they've got.
Test them out.
To land the jab there, Johnson, but it was so slow and ponderous, and Bakole picked that off at only a minimum of fuss. Not really going through the gears, as you said, Bakole. I don't know if he's showing him maybe a little bit too much respect here. Easy, of course, to say that when you're on the safe side of the ropes.
Easy. Oh, well, a bit of feet work there from Kevin Johnson. Trying to get the legs moving a little bit.
Remember that fight with Anthony Joshua 4 years ago? He came in. Joshua was knocking everybody over, and Kevin Johnson said, oh, he hasn't met Kingpin yet, wait till I slow him down a little bit. And as I say, Joshua had him all over the place, right on the bell at the end of the 1st round. He literally was saved by the bell there, but early in the 2nd round it was all over. And that's when people did start to seriously look at Anthony Joshua then, because he'd been in with all these contenders, and none of them had done that to him. Very proud resident of Asbury Park, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A lot of talent has come out of Asbury Park down the years. Danny DeVito. Bud Abbott Costello.
Well, Abbott Costello.
Born in Asbury Park. I'm old enough to remember them. And solid right hand coming in from Bakole.
Again, not loaded up or not a huge shot. What's surprising me about Bakole now, even as far on as round 4, we're at the halfway point, is the fact that Bakole's not tried to set up any big shots yet, Nick.
Yeah.
He's not touched a light jab to the body and went for a huge cross to the head or nothing dramatic, nothing spectacular. He's just popping away.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if he's going to be quite happy popping away for the full 8 rounds.
Well, you can count, as you say, the power punches thrown, never mind landed, are probably on the fingers of one hand. He's, as you say, it's just taking the easy stuff, taking what's there. And at the moment, looks like he's settled very early here for a wide points decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, backstage. Coming up on deck, Lawrence Asuke and Ricky Summers in an eliminator for the British light heavyweight title, a title that is now vacant. Logic would suggest the winner of this one will be expecting to fight for Lord Lonsdale's belt next time up. That's an interesting fight. Asuke's got that home advantage. Well, they have a good amateur pedigree, but Summers is nobody's fool.
No.
Seconds out, round 5.
We're going to struggle to build a highlight reel out of this one so far, aren't we,
I think
Alex?
it's looking like it, yeah. Very repetitive. I'm really intrigued to see if Martin Bakole is going to open up and try and unleash the power that many people say he has.
Well, Billy Nelson, you know Billy better than me, and I know Billy pretty well, and I've got a lot of time and a lot of respect for him. He's a real wonderful trainer and a colourful character, and he's no fool either, but Billy is totally sold on this fella as absolutely 100% the real deal. I'm not sure that necessarily everybody in British boxing would necessarily agree with that.
No, I don't think so. Again, you know, it's Billy has put himself in a...
Well, now he's starting to open up. Now he's opening up. Now Kevin Johnson's not offering anything back in. Johnson's got to make a move, and he hasn't. Bakole,
very good.
Just as we started questioning the level that he might be at. Well, talk about silencing your critics. Now, he's done something that only 2 other fighters have ever done. He's just stopped Kevin Johnson, but Johnson looked flat from the get-go, didn't he?
Awful. He looked awful from the start, Nick. Really tired, really lackluster. There was nothing in his legs. He looked really like he didn't want to be there at all, you know.
And it's Billy Nelson's that's gone over there to have a word with him as well. Martin Bakole now offering his commiserations. Take nothing away from Bakole.
No, you can't, but, you know, look, we're going back to saying, you know, that Billy had said publicly in an interview that Martin Bakole has a similar skill set to Usyk, and, you know, that there was no quitting him and stuff, and, you know, and we've seen Martin Bakole trying to quit in the corner. And, you know, it's just a real shame because he's been put under a lot of pressure, but he is a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
And when he had Johnson in trouble, he showed that ruthless streak. You know, this is a guy who knows how to survive and look after himself, and Bakole never let him off the hook.
No, he really never, no. And I'm quite impressed that he kept that array of punches up, that he really must, you know, confidence in his fitness and his stamina, because he looked like he wasn't ever going to put his foot on the gas tonight. But when he did, he got the results desired, and I certainly wanted to see a little bit of that, and you know, I'm happy that we did see that.
Yeah, that left hook that had just gone in, that prompted Ron Kearney to jump in, and I thought that was an absolutely perfect stoppage. Yeah, Johnson flat, no question about that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What a
referee
performance
Ron
from Bakole.
Kearney calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 58 seconds of round number 5. Your winner by RSC, Martin Bakole.
Well, Martin Bakole becomes only the third person after Anthony Joshua and Peter Milas to stop Kevin Johnson. Johnson, who was